Hello, Redlow friends. This is episode 55, and you can probably tell by the tone of my voice that I'm smiling behind this microphone. I'm so proud of myself for continuing on this journey, and this is truly my favorite place to be, behind this microphone in the quiet of the day with my cup of coffee, talking to you, sharing my thoughts, and just trying to make a difference in your life and mine, one step at a time. This week, I did a masterclass with a group of women. And what that is just gathering together on Zoom and having a topic that we discussed for about an hour. It was awesome. And what I did was talk about what keeps us stuck, especially at this season of life. And first and foremost, it's definitely those limiting thoughts, those limiting beliefs that we have. And I shared some of that on my last podcast, and go back and listen to it. But it's just those thoughts and fears and doubts that rise up in us, in our subconscious mind, and keep us from moving forward with our lives. And often those limiting thoughts include being discouraged rather than encouraged. And that's kind of what I want to focus on today. It means having that flame of courage diminished, dimmed, or completely burned out somewhere along the way in our life. It also means playing small and staying small. But to encourage or to be encouraged means to be full of courage. And I want to encourage you and remind you that the courage is already within you. In my book, Step Forward, I share that many of us think of courage in some kind of a superhero way, as though it requires a special key to unlock its magical powers, or it requires some kind of superhuman strength, or a special device that comes to save us and help us when we experience extraordinary circumstances in our life that are beyond our control. But it's not like that. It's actually not wrapped in a superhero costume at all. It might be nice, but that's a fantasy. That's the movies. That's actually waiting for someone or something to save us. And the truth is, real courage is quite ordinary, and it's available to both you and me. It's something that's already within you. You just need to activate it. Brene Brown says that courage is a heart word. The root of the word courage is cor, C-O-R. And that's a Latin word for heart. I find that so fascinating because that's within us. It makes me think of the Wizard of Oz with the lion that was so afraid. He already had the courage within him, right? It's like that for us too. So for me, courage looks like digging deep within ourselves to overcome our own ordinary and sometimes extraordinary circumstances. In my book, I share that courage shows up in many ways. It's brave, fierce, and kind. It's a brave spirit. Courage is being brave. It means stepping forward and taking action when you don't want to, when you aren't prepared to, but you do it anyway. And it's doing those hard and scary things. Courage is a fierce mind. It's having a relentless mindset that faces circumstances in our lives and believes in our ability to move beyond them, and it never gives up. A fierce mind is strong, even when it's afraid, uncertain, confused, or perhaps even rejected. And the third thing I say is that courage is a kind soul. It's kind and empathetic. Courage is emotional strength. It's love towards ourselves and others. It stands up for others. Courage is setting boundaries and taking care of yourself. It's vulnerability. It doesn't hide. Courage does not conform. It's bold, beautiful, and audacious. Don't you just love that? So let's take this a step further. I don't know where you are in your season of life, but I'm guessing you're somewhere in some kind of a midlife transition or life transition, or you wouldn't be here today. And when I say life transition, what comes to your mind? It's change, right? It's moving from one place in your life to another. And we actually go through multiple life transitions throughout our life. But it turns out that this midlife transition is actually where we can experience the most stress and uncertainty more than any other transition. It can often be the most difficult one. And if you think about it, it's this time in our life where we crave certainty and stability. And if we've had this disruption at this season of our life, it's really hard, right? We are in this sandwich generation where we have our elderly parents that we might be caring for, and we also have our adult children, and we're involved in their lives in some capacity, maybe even helping with their children, our grandchildren. And then we're trying to rediscover who we are. We're rediscovering our marriage, and there's just so much change that's happening, and even with our bodies and our emotions, just a lot going on, right? And we can have both internal and external barriers that hinder us from pursuing our own goals and passions. If you read my book, you know that I love metaphors. And I think about a transition, as I've shared, as a major change. It's this energy of going from one place to another. So imagine as we're making this transition or a change, we're on a suspension bridge, not just a normal bridge, but one that's like a rope bridge. And we're crossing over a very big canyon. And I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself there now. You find yourself standing on solid ground, and you're apprehensive about stepping forward onto this bridge because it's swerving, it's not completely stable, it's going to move with every step that you take. But you do it anyway. You find that courage to step forward, and you move one step at a time. But wow, you're so high up. It's a beautiful day, but you feel alone. You wonder if you're ever going to get to the other side. You feel extremely vulnerable, and you keep moving forward. And you may be finding yourself now in the middle. You're holding on so tight. You're white-knuckling it. Your heart is racing. You're perspiring. And you just keep telling yourself, just keep moving one step at a time. And you breathe deeply. And there you are, suspended between what was, what's behind, and then what lies ahead. Now, there you are in the middle, and you can't look down. You're nervous. If you look down, you'll get wobbly, maybe even dizzy, disoriented, and you'll feel like you're going to fall. So you have to keep focusing on getting to the other side, looking straight ahead towards your destination. And you need to keep a strong mind to keep moving forward, or you'll get completely overwhelmed and paralyzed with fear and get stuck in the middle. Our life is like that too, isn't it? Our midlife. If we look back, we definitely want to go back to where we were because it was safe and stable. It was something we knew. But when we're looking ahead, we have to keep moving forward, even though it's uncertain and we don't quite know where we're going. But when we focus on what's ahead, that's when we can dig deep and set our path for purpose. We all need that inspiration of a goal to get to the other side, to move ahead, to move forward. That's the energy that moves us there to that place. That's what gives us the inspiration and the courage to step beyond those internal and external barriers that get in our way. And so, I'm here to encourage you. I'm standing on the other side, calling your name, saying, come on, come with me. You can do this. You've got this. You can cross this bridge. You can get to the other side. And there's wonderful opportunities waiting for you, those passions and dreams that you want to fulfill. If I can write a book at 59 and do this podcast and start coaching women at this age, you can do the same, whatever those dreams and goals are inside of you. And the way we do that is by being a part of a community, finding a coach, and gaining that clarity and confidence to move forward with our lives. Now, I've created the Hello Redlow Women Facebook group. It's a wonderful community that I'm just launching, and we're going to start getting more active in that. I'd love you to be a part of it. We're going to talk about these midlife issues in a very safe space. I have my 6-week coaching program that is available to you if you need more one-on-one personalization, where I can just tailor this information for you to help you gain the confidence and courage and clarity to move forward with your life. And then another tool I have is my book, Step Forward. It's available on Amazon, and it's just full of inspiration and tools to help you move forward with your life. So I'll put all 3 of these links here in the show notes for you to refer to. I'd love to connect with you and help you move forward. I know what's possible. I know what it feels like to be stuck and wonder what's next, especially after raising our kids. So I'm just here to inspire you. I want you to know that you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, and you belong. And let's step forward together. God bless. Be encouraged, not discouraged. Have an amazing day. Hey friends, thanks so much for listening in today. Just as a disclaimer, as I always like to say, I'm not a therapist or a professional. These are just my words and my experience from my own life and words from things that I've written in my book, Step Forward. Go have an amazing day, and thanks for stopping by.